Hey guys, Lynn Burke here, owner of Blues City Music in Memphis, Tennessee. We're at my storefront today, American Recording Studios in downtown Memphis, and we're continuing with our Guitar Amplification 101 class, and today we're going on with the Splawn Amplification Nitro. This amp's been out for a few years now, and Scott came up with this amp for those players that really want a lot of saturation, a lot of bottom end, a lot of thump, and a lot of gain. Okay, that's what's really cool about this amp. This amp is set up similar to the Quick Rod 2-channel amp, clean overdrive, except it's got an added resonance to it. And the other thing I like about this amp is you can run KT88s. Now, those are expensive tubes today, but if that's what you're looking for, is that heavy bottom end, heavy gain, heavy saturation, this is definitely your amp. So we're going to take this thing apart and talk about it a little bit, let you see some close-up shots on the front chassis, and give you more information on the Splawn Amplification Nitro. Okay, guys, let's talk about this Splawn Amplification Nitro front chassis here. If you take a look over here on the left side, you're going to see your on-off power switch. Then you're going to have your on-off standby switch right here, okay? Red jewel light, industry standard. This one is actually going to be a super stock head shell. You can get it in a menagerie of aesthetics. Scott's really good about that. He does all kinds of custom amps. You could get it in any color you want. Sky's the limit. Just let us know and we'll hook you up with that. I just decided to go with something I thought it looked pretty cool. So this is the super stock head shell. Clean channel, overdrive channel. Very similar to the Quick Rod and the other amps that Scott has. Gain, volume, bass, and treble. Scott's mid-range is comes factory wired already. So don't think, well, where's mid-range? I'm not going to get mid-range control. No, Scott already has it wired for you. Okay, and it's just trying to free up a little bit of space on the front chassis. So you can set this up with as much grit as you want using the gain control. The higher you raise this knob, the more grit you're going to add to the clean. Taking a look at the overdrive channel over here, you're going to see there's one thing is missing that the Quick Rod doesn't have. It does not have a mode control. You're not going to see gear 1, gear 2, gear 3. What you are going to see is the addition of a resonance control. Now, resonance and presence are going to be post EQ. So the first thing you need to do is set up your bass, mid, and treble. Then when you get that set up, then you can go in and you can add more bite to the amp if that's what you want via the presence control, or more bottom end if you want more bottom using the resonance control. You also have a solo boost right here. So it is similar to the Quick Rod in a lot of ways, and that's going to be foot switchable to go between channel 1, which will be the clean channel, or channel 2, if you will, which is the overdrive channel. You've also got the ability for the solo boost as well. This amp, like I said, is set up with KT88s. You can use 34Bs if that's what you would like. But this is a really, really good amp for those guys that want a lot of bottom end, a lot of saturation, a lot of gain. Are you going to be a rock star playing this with classic rock? You're going to be able to get by, but this amp wasn't really designed for that. It really needs for more of that modern type tones that you hear out there today. Big, heavy type tones. Metallica would be great. Buck Cherry would be good. Anything like Slipknot would be great for that. So it's going to be more for the heavier players. So I'm going to turn this thing around and let you see the back side of the Splawn Amplification Nitro. Guys, this is the rear of the Splawn Amplification Nitro. We can start over here on the left side. You've got a mono quarter-inch input right here. That's nomenclature has A written on it. Same thing over here in B. That's going to be for the 2 quarter-inch cables that feed the 3-button foot switch, okay? That's the way this amp was. This is actually about a 2009 amp. Not a whole lot of difference in what Scott's doing today other than the addition of a effects loop volume control, if that's what you want to try to keep the amp down and control the volume just a little bit. Starting over here, you're going to have your fuses, okay? Just use a small screwdriver, push in on it, turn it counterclockwise, pull it out, replace the fuse if you need it. And you can use 250 volt AGC slow blow fuses. That's what Scott wants to use, just like Marshall. That's what he wants to use. You can get that anywhere, FYE, Best Buy, Radio Shack, any place like that that sells electronics. There's nothing fancy for that. You don't waste your time going to Guitar Center or places like that. You could get it at Radio Shack all day long, okay? Here's your IEC removable power cord slot. And then over here, you've got 100 volts, 110, 230, 240. 100 is what the Japanese use. It looks like the same spade plug, but it's actually 100 volts. 110 is in the U.S., which is actually 117 volts and 60 hertz. Then 220 or 240, that's going to be European voltages, okay? Further left is going to be your impedance selector, 4, 8, and 16. 2 speaker jacks, half power, full power switch. Now, Scott uses a pentode triode half power switch. Some manufacturers use a true half power switch. Scott, as well as Diamond Amplification, they decide to use pentode triode. Soldano uses a true half power. It essentially accomplishes the same thing, except in pentode triode, you don't have to worry about coming over here and changing your impedance selector like you would in a true half power. Okay, it's going to give you the same thing. So if you want to go from half power to full or full to half, just put the amp on standby, throw the switch, turn the amp back on, and rock. No problems. Okay, over here is going to be your effects loop, okay? Send your return and your send. You're also going to have a switch over here for your bypass or your active on your loop, and then over here it's going to be a minus 10 dB pad or standard plus 4 dB effects loop. So if you're not running studio plus 4 dB line level effects, push this button in, engage the minus 10 dB pad. That will bring up your effects level pedals to line level. So when you step on the pedal, chorus, flanger, overdrive, whatever, you're not going to lose that 10 to 15 to 20 sometimes dB drop in volume and go, well, what happened to that? No, you can make up for that right here with the minus 10 dB, okay? On a lot of amps that Scott makes today, you have the ability to either say, no, I don't want it, or yes, please include it. And it's going to be the effects loop volume control. As long as you have this switch over here out where you're not bypassing the loop, okay? If you keep it in where you're not bypassing the loop, you just don't want to bypass it, then this volume control for the effects loop acts as a global master. Okay? So all you have to do is just make sure that the loop is active. What you want to do is keep this, it'll be a chicken head knob, all to the right, full clockwise. Just think of it that way. And what that's going to do is give you all the power off the output transformer. Get each individual channel set up with gain structure and EQ, presence and resonance on the overdrive if you care for, and get them set up the way you want it. If it's too loud, then the first thing I would do would be come back here and go full power to half power after going to standby on the amp first. If that's not quite enough, and you really like the feel of full power, or half power in this case, then you could come over here and back this chicken head knob down on the effects loop volume control, and that will effectively bring down the output transformer for you, and it'll bring down the overall volume for both channels at the same. So that's a great finishing touch if you're just too loud, okay? Now, if you take a look in here, you can see this amp is loaded with big bottle tubes. These are JJKT88s, and just like the Quick Rod, there's 4 preamp tubes up here. They're going to be 12AX7s. Guys, this is a great amp for those looking for a lot of bottom end, a lot of saturation. This is definitely your amp. Guys, this is the Splawn Amplification Nitro. Really good amp, serious amp for those guys that want that tone with a lot of gain, a lot of saturation. And especially if you're a big chunk player, this is definitely good for that, okay? Give us a call at Blues City Music. We can hook you up with this amp all day long. 901-485-8250. Catch us on the web at www.bluescitymusic.com. Twitter and Facebook, Blues City Music. And you can also hit us up with a text message. I get that worldwide, so if I'm out of the country, I can get back with you immediately. Be looking for a return call via Skype line, 661 Palmdale, California area code. That's probably me calling. So give us a call. We'll hook you up. Splawn Amplification Nitro. Thank you.